Hi, nice to see you again.
Hi, it's nice to see you too.
So, when we last met, you mentioned you were feeling a lot of confusion. Um, what would you say your confusion is like? So, for example, if you were to place it in a room, where would it be in that room, and what would it look like? Like, what would it say to you?
That's not really something I've ever thought of before. I guess I would have to say it would be over me and maybe a little dark. I feel like a lot of my confusion may also be a little bit of being overwhelmed. Like my brain flashes between one thing and another, which then makes me confused. So I feel like it would say just a lot of conflicting different things back to.
Mm, yeah, that's that's a really great example. And you mentioned that you feel like it's hanging over you. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thinking about that, what would you say that, the impact that your confusion has on your life just lately, these feelings of indecisiveness, like how does it affect your life in general on a daily basis?
I feel like I've been really focused on, like I said, my brain is just like saying one thing at me and then immediately saying another. So I
Mhm.
feel like I haven't been very present in most of the situations I've been in. I've been kind of just thinking about what's going on, rather than engaging with the people in front of me.
Hmm.
Um, because of that, I don't think I'm really having a good time when I should be.
Hmm. So you're feeling a little distant, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, and as we're thinking and talking about your confusion in general, how does it present on a daily basis when you're already feeling tired or you're already feeling stressed? Like, how does that present to you?
Feel like it's just way over the top when I'm already tired and stressed or in stressful situations. It just seems so much more powerful and uncontrollable, I guess.
Mm, yeah. So when you're already feeling tired and stressed, you're feeling that kind of confusion even more in a sense. Is that what you're saying?
Mhm.
Okay. Wow. Um, okay. So are you able to describe the last time that you managed to get free of your confusion? You were able to step away from it and see a specific side, whether it's staying with your ex boyfriend or not staying with your ex boyfriend. Can you give me an example of a moment of clarity for you?
I did actually go out to dinner for my friend's birthday just with a bunch of friends on Friday, and I had a really good time. And I found myself not thinking about my ex-boyfriend or any part of the situation.
Yeah.
And that was really nice. And that was the first time in a while I had noticed that there had been an extended period of time, not where I just enjoyed myself, but also didn't think about it.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, and so in that example that you mentioned about, having dinner on Friday night with your friends, and you were in this different headspace, right? Where you weren't thinking about him, and you were more in control. Um, what was the first thing you noticed in those first few moments of clarity? Can you sort of describe how you felt in those moments? And then after you describe how you felt in those first few what was the next thing that happened directly after that?
So the first thing that I noticed was someone told a joke, and it was really funny. And when you laugh really hard and you get that feeling in your stomach, I noticed that, and that's what made me realize like I'm genuinely happy in this moment.
Mm.
And then after that, when the laughing of everyone stopped, I kind of realized that the situation hadn't crossed my mind, and I was just enjoying myself and feeling, I guess, calm and normal.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean by normal? Like, what does normal mean to you in that moment?
Just what I used to feel like on a regular basis, not confused, not stressed, not I just felt peace of mind, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah. And so with that peace of mind, like you're talking about, um, what what have you learned about understanding that peace of mind? How are you able to achieve that peace of mind that you're talking about? What leads you there?
I think what I've recognized so far is that being around people that I enjoy and can trust
Yeah.
definitely helps. Um, I also think that I kind of have come to this realization that I I can put it behind me. I don't have to feel confused. I don't have to think about it. I can put it aside for a period of time.
Mhm. So you're mentioning this feeling of realization coming to you, and this is the first time that I've heard you kind of talk about that in our sessions so far. Um, so when you're talking about that peace of mind and that feeling of happiness and that feeling of normality, what would you like to see happen in your life when you're in control, right? And your confusion is no longer control. What does that look like for you?
That's hard to say. I just really don't want to feel confused, I guess. I don't want to think about it, and if I do, I want to be able, I guess this sounds strange, I think, but to schedule a time for it or just not let it pop up when
Mhm.
I'm doing other things. I want to be able to enjoy what I'm doing. And I understand that I need to process still all of what happened and everything, but I wish that it wouldn't pop up.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's a completely normal feeling, you're having these moments of almost serenity, you're coming to this realization that I want to be in control, right? I don't really want these thoughts to interfere and take over anymore. So you're kind of talking about finding a time to have those thoughts specifically. Is that correct? Is that
Yeah, I think it is correct. And I really liked the control word that you just used. I think even if I can't control it all the time, being able to control it most of the time would make a major difference for me.
yeah, absolutely. And thinking about that control, um, what is something that you think that you could do personally on your own to kind of keep that control as it is and keep yourself strong and not have as much confusion anymore? What's an idea that perhaps you might have?
I think kind of like noticing and calling out when the thoughts and the confusion pop into my mind,
Mhm.
and at least trying to focus on what's in front of me, whatever that may be.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a really strong, visualization and thought process that you're having in general of where you want to be, and it is going to take a little bit of time to get there, but you've progressed in terms of your need for having control and your understanding of the confusion and which side you weigh on. So before we wrap up this session tonight, I just want to give you a little bit of homework, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So all of these ideas and thoughts that you have about, the side of confusion that you don't want to weigh on, where you don't want your ex to, come into your thoughts. I might suggest keeping a journal if you don't already, and to use those moments of confusion like you're having, just write those thoughts down, just close that journal right up. Does that sound like something you could handle?
Yeah, I think I can definitely do that.
Okay, great. All right. Well, it was really great seeing you, and I really look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you, you too.
Of course. Bye-bye.
Oh, it's nice to see you again.
Hi, it's good to see you again too.
Why don't we start by talking a little bit about what has changed for you since our last session together?
Um, so I've been feeling a little bit overwhelmed, maybe a little confused, honestly. Like since his messages that I told you about last time, I've kind of become a little, I don't know, like hesitant as to, if I want to pursue the legal actions or not. And I think I'm hesitant about it because I don't know, I'm just really confused about it. I don't know. I just don't quite know what to do. I have ideas of what I should do, maybe, but I think I just honestly need some help getting there. Yeah.
Of course, I can understand that. Do you want to start by telling me a little bit about how this hesitancy is making you feel?
Overwhelmed, for one. Um, yeah, just it's like taking over my life, to be honest. Um, yeah, um, I just feel like with this, confusion that I'm having, it's kind of making like everything else in my life really confusing. Like I don't feel very stable.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of how I'm feeling.
Do you have any examples that immediately come to your mind that you want to share about how this has been impacting your life?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really been sleeping very well. I think it comes to me a lot right before I go to bed, like thinking about all these things. Um, and it just kind of takes over my brain space. Like I'm not really doing that well at work right now because I think it's just like consuming me almost. This like confusion, this overwhelm, this kind of all of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sounds like you found yourself in a really difficult position. And although it's difficult, I would expect that you would be feeling overwhelmed given the circumstances. Can you tell me a little bit about how you've been able to cope with this general feeling of being overwhelmed so far?
Hmm. Um, yeah, I guess I've been I've been talking to my mom more,
Okay.
which is kind of surprising, but she's actually been really helpful and so I've been calling her every once in a while and just kind of like talking to her about how I'm feeling. And it's actually been kind of nice, I guess, because it's sort of like built our relationship up a little bit more. And then in moments where I'm just like feeling so stressed, I've started doing yoga again. Not that often, probably like once a week, but it's, something. So, um, yeah, I think that's how I've been like physically coping. And then mentally, as I said, I'm not coping with it well mentally at all. um, Again, it's just very overwhelming. I think I know this sounds silly, but I almost feel like, I know I've said this before too, but like I feel like I know what I should be doing, but I still feel kind of stuck about it. So,
Definitely. And I want to say that I don't think that that's silly at all. And also, I think that both of those coping strategies that you identified are fantastic, especially reconnecting with your mother and continuing to build that relationship up a little bit,
yeah,
and really utilizing the supports around you, I think is great.
thank you. Yeah.
But I hear you saying that you don't feel as though you're mentally coping very well, and that is having an impact on you. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not overwhelmed at all, and 10 being the most overwhelmed that you could possibly imagine, um, can you give me a number where you think you are on a normal day or this morning, for example?
I feel like mornings and like before I go to bed are actually the worst.
Mhm.
But I'd say probably like an 8.5.
Okay. And if mornings and late at night are worse for you, what about middle of the day?
I think it's not as bad because I'm like distracted, working, and I like my coworkers, so it's kind of fun.
Mhm.
So I don't know, I guess I haven't really thought about that. I guess maybe like a 4
Okay.
even. Yeah. Mm, yeah, probably like 4 or 5.
Sounds like the middle of the day is a lot better for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Have you tried to, outside of work, maybe connect with any of your coworkers if you think that they're the ones helping you?
You know, um, hmm, I have thought about that. But I just remember how my ex like feels about my coworkers and how he was always kind of controlling about that. And then I guess I don't know. I feel like he still has control over me with those things, though he doesn't really. Uh, but yeah, I should try. Um, I think I think that'd be good for me. And there's no attraction there. Like they're just like friends. So
Something to consider that might help at least.
yeah, 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 you're right. Yeah, I should. I've definitely thought about it.
Mhm.
It's not like I haven't thought about it, but yeah, there's no reason why I shouldn't, right?
That's for you to decide. But it sounds like if it's something you're comfortable doing, and obviously they're comfortable doing, I think it may be beneficial for you if they're able to support you and have positive relationships during the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, thinking about it, I have one female coworker who is really nice and just like a very positive person. And I hang out with her like during work most of the time.
Mhm.
So she clearly like makes me feel good.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think I should reach out to her at least first.
definitely something to consider. I do want to switch gears a little bit before we end here today, and I would like to ask you, what would you consider leaving here today being a success? In other words, what would you like to accomplish, or what do you hope to feel?
Uh, I guess I'd like to accomplish clarity for myself.
Mhm.
And I just don't want to feel overwhelmed anymore. I want to feel like I do at work. I want to feel happy and I want to feel in control.
Definitely. I think that's an admirable and achievable goal for you.
Yeah.
So other than at work, or maybe at work, has there been any time, let's say within the last week, that you were not feeling overwhelmed at all?
Other than at work.
Could be at work, if I know that you said you're usually around you put yourself in the middle of the scale, I believe.
Yeah. Um, you know what, actually? Yeah. So the coworker I was mentioning, on our lunch breaks, we go for a walk together, just like around the, building outside, nothing crazy, but that specific time period of the day I always look forward to.
Mhm.
And I think part of it is like I'm listening to my coworker and like what she's up to, and I'm focusing on her, but I'm also like feeling like happy and I feel good. Um, so that might be a 3 possibly in that moment. Yeah. Um,
The,
yeah.
the lower we can get on that scale, obviously, the better. I'm wondering if there are any circumstances about the lunch breaks with your coworker, that we can maybe sort of implement into other areas of your life to bring that scale down more often.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, like I was saying before, I think um I could easily meet up with her. Maybe I could see what she's doing on the weekend. Maybe we could there's the park that's like right near kind of in between where she lives and where I live.
Mhm.
We could walk around there together. I I feel pretty comfortable asking her now that I'm talking about it a little bit more. So I think that would probably help me um get a little further down. And then I don't know, maybe I should start doing yoga before bed. Maybe that would help me with those thoughts before I go to sleep. I mean, I'm already doing it once a week. Maybe it'd be easier to just, do it before bed, but for a short amount of time because I've been doing it once a week for like an hour and it just feels kind of long.
Yeah, I think those are some great strategies that you've just mentioned. And I think that they may benefit you if you do choose to implement them. So definitely, I would suggest that you consider to at least ponder them, and maybe try and think of some other things that may help as well.
Okay. Yeah. I mean that actually sounds, yeah, pretty doable.
And I'm more than happy to continue to help brainstorm next time we meet.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you for meeting with me today.
Yeah, of course. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Bye.